and welcome to the weekly analysis. So we start off with gold. So last week we had NFP and was really good for the dollar, but then the sanction between Russia and the US came in and data gold went buying. Rather than that, other pairs like GBP USD and Euro USD totally dipped. So today we want to look at the possible move of gold this week. So as you can see, we are yet in a 4 hour supply area, and the market just swept liquidity after that news on Friday. So what I'm looking at in this market is the market to pull back to test this area of interest, within this area of interest, before we see a continuation to the upside. So let me just change this color. So the market to come back and test this area of interest, and if we get a good bounce, then probably take this market higher, because if you look at the institution money right now, they are long gold, and that should also give us a head start on where gold is headed next. But for today, the market might probably pull back into this area of value that it touched last week during NFP. And what I'm looking at right now is, if you go to the 1 hour time frame, is a move back into this area, and if it holds properly, then can get a good bounce and take this market higher. If we get a break, then this will be our next move, looking at how the market behaved from this other 1 hour demand on Friday. I would still expect the market to come back to this area. If it breaks this immediate demand area, come back to this area before we get a proper rejection from these two zones. Because right now, if you look at the daily, if you look at the daily chart, then you'll notice that we have a trend line break right here, and you can see that the market is just preparing itself to push into this zone of interest. So if you go to the lower time frame, 1 hour, to find a good entry, then probably you can see where the trend line is cutting across is just within this area of interest that I've just mentioned, the immediate demand, or just below into this area. So a move towards this area or towards this area, then you get a rejection or a buy, would be a proper trade this week. So that is what I'm looking at. So if I get a good rejection from this area, then I'll take a buy. If the markets break below, then I'll wait and see how the market behaves from this area of interest. Right now, Gold is strong due to the geopolitical going on. So we focus on the stronger side, which right now the institution is long gold, and probably will be continuously within the year if the geopolitics continue. So another trade that I'm looking at, so my targets, if I can just show you really quickly, my targets looks like this. So I drop into this area, then buy. So this is what I'm looking at on gold, possible move this week. And you also saw the daily breakout on the trend line. So that is what I'm checking for gold. If we look at another pair that I'm really interested in is the Gbpjpy. So the Gbpjpy sold off very strongly during the NFP, and if you go to the higher time frame, which I usually like going to the higher time frames, they give you this wider view of what the market is actually doing, and you can decide on what's the direction of the market. So right now you see that we are in this daily demand area, and not only in that daily demand area, and we also have this dynamic trend line that the market has been respecting for quite some time. And right now we are in that same spot within this area of value. So if we get a good bounce, then probably I'll take a buy back to this area where the market broke out on Friday to find some good supply. But if the market continues down, then I'll wait for a breakout, then find a good entry from this point and short this market back to these areas. So this is what I'm looking at on Gbpjpy. And if you go to the 4 hours, it is still within that area of demand. So a break of this area, then a retest will give me a good short entry for this market. So for Gbpjpy, I'm looking to sell if we break down beyond this area. But if we get a good bounce, then I'm interested in a short buy back to this area of value. Then we see whether the market can continue buying into this previous area of distribution, or the market will go back and test these lower prices. So that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking at for from Gbpjpy. Another pair that I'm really interested in is the Euro AUD, which for the past few months has been very bullish, and I was long this pair for 3 weeks, holding a buy from this low after the market broke out of this 4 hours pattern. So I took a buy here and I held through up to this point, and I was trailed out because I was trailing my stop loss. So what I'm looking at right now, since the market has already, created for us a new daily supply here, and we got this massive bearish candlestick What I'll do is I'll look for entries when the market tests this fresh supply that it had created. So so far the market has been very slow in terms of how it is moving towards that area of value. But hopefully within the week or next week we can get a good retest and take this swing back these rises. So this is something that I'm waiting at, and hopefully within the week or next week we can get a good retest here and a confirmation for us to take a proper swing sell again. Another pair that I'm really interested in is the USDJPY, which I think is very interesting since when the news came out, or the NFP, the market, you know, bought a little bit, then started selling again, even though the news was proper. Uh, the market still went selling. Looking at where we are right now, we are at we are at a 1 day immediate fresh demand, and if the market is able to reject properly from this zone, then I'll take this market higher. But if market decides to sweep liquidity, there's a zone here. If you go to the 1 hour, there's a minus a demand area here, that 4 hours, I mean, not 1 hour, 4 hours. There's a minor demand area here that the market has touched severally, once, twice, and now the market is likely to come back to this area, given that we also have this trend line that the market has been respecting for quite some time. So once I see that the market is into this area and is going, is showing some good rejection, um, then I can probably get into that buy. But if the market breaks out from this area, then I'll short the market back into this 4 hour fresh demand, which was never tested. And I think that is what I'm looking at from USDJPY this week. We also have CPI coming up on Wednesday. That will be a very big boost for these setups. And hopefully, we can get some nice movements within the week. Another pair that I'm speculating but not really looking into trading it right now is the CHFJPY. CHFJPY is very interesting pair. Right now, we have just broken out of an area of value that previously supported the market. You can see previously supported the market and the market bounced, but then the market came next and blasted through that zone. So whatever I'm looking at in this market is a good retest into this area, then I can probably short it towards this area of value. So this is another pair that I'm really interested in, but not quite ready yet, because we have had some very big imbalance between these areas, and the market need to come back and fill some of the imbalances it created before it can continue with the sales. So those are some of the pairs that I'm really interested in this week, and hopefully we can get a good trade and a good entry. So have a lovely time and see you on the next video.